Hello and welcome back to the Halo discussion series. Following on from our pre-E3 expectation video, we'll now be discussing 343's showcase at the beginning of Microsoft's presentation, the Slipspace Engine demo and Halo Infinite's reveal video. Firstly, let's briefly talk over some points we mentioned in our pre-E3 video talking about what we wanted to see. Spoiler for those who haven't seen it, we were way off the mark just like everyone else in the world. Having said that, a lot of what we spoke about could still be relevant to the direction of the series. We were right to think that the introduction of new employees could mean a complete redirection of the games in general, and with art director Nicolas Bouvier's new art style in returning to the original Halo trilogy style, the visuals in the trailer are very reminiscent of levels such as Halo, Silent Cartographer, Delta Halo and The Covenant. This, coupled with new narrative director Paul Crocker's ideas, anything could, and seems to be, happening with the franchise.
The trailer shows a luscious world with both fauna and flora populating the landscape. It shows base camps, downed pelicans and marines. Circular imagery is a huge part of the trailer, a key hint that it was indeed a Halo game before we got the full reveal of the Master Chief's helmet. Although on the surface this video may be a technical demo showing the new art style and direction, there are a lot of details hidden within, some of which we'll talk about today. Firstly, we see a radio in a tent, and if we listen closely you can hear the distinctive pips of Morse code. Morse code delivering a hidden message that when deciphered reads SOS, Zeta Halo, GRD. While the meaning of GRD is debatable, the meaning of SOS and Zeta Halo is clear. Zeta Halo is another name for Installation 07. The SOS signal explains why there's a crashed pelican as well as injured marines throwing red flares around the landscape. Secondly, we are shown a message carved into the rock in an ancient dialect which, amazingly, Reddit user Kitty Lyncher has decoded. They replaced the symbols seen in the trailer with similar English letters and then ran the sequence through a cryptogram solver. This showed that one possible combination was enemy within. This could be hinting towards the Flood or some other ancient evil kept on the ring.
We mentioned in our previous video that having the Flood in Halo Infinite, or Halo 6 as we called it pre-E3, is a necessity based on fans' criticism and feedback, and Zeta Halo is known to hold many proto-grave mines as well as flood forms and other species. It is also where the primary housing of Mendicant Bias is kept. We spoke about Mendicant Bias helping the Master Chief on the Ark, and if he returned there, that could be a key plot point. But this theory still remains relevant after the Halo Infinite trailer due to the fact that Mendicant Bias was able to create splinter copies of himself, and although he was on the Ark, his primary form is on Installation 07. This could be a very cool inclusion as Mendicant Bias's body on Installation 07 is described as an enormous city-sized mass of data crystals which hovered over a web-like network of green hard-light paths. This structure also contained a central eye and was ringed with the blue hard-light structures that vaguely resembled legs. This could be an incredible cutscene introduction using the new engine and graphical capabilities.
Moving on to the Master Chief's armour and the fact that they've gone back to an older art style, very reminiscent of Halo 2. Now we should state that 343 have said that Halo Infinite's story continues the Master Chief's journey after Halo 5, which took place in the year 2558, and the crashed pelican in the trailer has a date on its display screen of the 27th of May 2560. Therefore it might look a little odd to go back to the older style of armour, but this could be explained by having an armour upgrade, which has happened with the majority of the games in the series. 343 have certainly been listening to the fans and have acted on the feedback to return to the bright, awe-inspiring art design of the original trilogy. However, one key part of the trailer was shown at the end, with John putting a blue AI chip into the back of his helmet, which is the signature colour of Cortana. Now there are multiple reasons why this could be. One being that 343 has completely retconned the Halo 4 and 5 story, which we highly doubt, and another being that the chip is another AI completely, or another version of Cortana. If we zoom into the chip from the trailer, you can see the number 04530, which would be a part of the serial number of the AI. Cortana's original serial number was CTN 04529, so if this serial number is CTN 04530, it would actually indicate that this is the next Cortana model, as the numerical value is increased by 1. This then takes us into a theory that we didn't have time to discuss before, but one that we are both very interested in.
Each of the Reclaimer Trilogy Halo games start with a cutscene of Dr. Halsey, which hasn't become obviously apparent yet as to what's going on and why they're actually showing it to us in the first place. The first cutscene in Halo 4 is her being interrogated by someone who is mentioned to be different to the other interrogators and is not Oni. whilst the first cutscene from Halo 5 was her creating Cortana. I don't believe this is her creating the original Cortana, and is in fact her creating a second copy between the events of Halo 2 and Halo 4. The reason we believe it takes place in this time frame is because in these videos she's old, with holograms of her brain all over the room. Smart AIs like Cortana are created using a highly dangerous technique that copies the brains of a human, in this case Dr. Halsey. The cutscene must be after Halo 2 because she has a picture of Miranda Keyes from her award ceremony in Halo 2 on her desk. Some say that this is just a reuse of assets, but I don't believe that this is the case, as all of the effort that they put into the lore and the visual quality of the games, they wouldn't cut corners in something so prominent in a cutscene like this, especially as the camera slows down and focuses on this picture specifically. As well as Miranda's photo, there's also a sketch of a flood infection form. We know that the flood had not yet been discovered at the time that she created the original Cortana. We can also presume that the cutscene is set before Halo 4, because she has two arms and she lost an arm during her time with Jewel and Dharma in Halo 4. Between the times of Halo 2 and Halo 4, the Master Chief and Cortana were not on Earth for very long, and when they were, they did not have contact with Halsey. If this theory is correct, it would mean that the cutscene at the end of Halo 5 is the first time that they'd have seen each other since Halsey had made this second Cortana, meaning that it could be at this exact point that he receives the second generation Cortana from Halsey. It's also interesting to note that at the end of Halo 5, the Master Chief arrives on a Pelican to Sangelios with Locke, where he meets with Halsey, the Arbiter, and Palmer. None of these characters are currently on the UNSC Infinity, so maybe this Pelican that John arrives on is the Pelican we see in Halo Infinite's trailer, and could explain why there's such a small UNSC presence on Zeta Halo in the trailer. Now this is all based on the fact that these cutscenes are still relevant, and it could be a long shot, but I still think it's an incredibly interesting theory to keep an eye on.
Apart from that, there isn't much to go on from the trailer. With that being said, if any new information does arise, we will be keeping you up to date with it all. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.